joining us around the globe. Thank you for being part of the final demo day of upCAT 2021 and KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge. At KIT, we are leading the integration of university and non-university research. Basically, the Research University in the Helmholtz Association stands for excellent research, outstanding academic education, and future-oriented innovation. As one of the 11 universities of excellence in Germany, we are not only strengthening top-level research, but also offering unique entrepreneurial paths for young scientists through upCAT Accelerator. Basically, within the framework of the accelerator, our scientists and researchers teams learn relevant methods, tools, and competencies for building their business model and implement these directly in their business ideas. On the other side, we develop an awareness of responsibility. Actually, at KIT, we have the Academy for Responsible Research, Teaching, and Innovation, or so-called ARRTI. So it is about addressing the social need for ethical reflection of engineering and scientific practices. With these words, it is my pleasure to invite our first keynote, Professor Hirt, the Vice President for Innovation and International Affairs. Unfortunately, it was not possible to have Professor Hirt live with us today, but we are happy to watch his video message.
Dear upCAT teams, dear students, dear mentors, coaches and business angels, dear guests from industry, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the upCAT Demo Day 2021 at the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. In its strategy, the KIT has clearly formulated that KIT provides knowledge for the benefit of the society and the environment, and makes significant contributions to the global challenges facing of humanity. Therefore, KIT is preparing his students through research-oriented courses for responsible positions in society, economy, and science, as well as entrepreneurs. Besides research and teaching, innovation, that means technology and knowledge transfer, is a key element of the KIT strategy. Therefore, innovation and entrepreneurial thinking and acting are deeply rooted at KIT. For example, 3 founders of SAP, the market leader in end-to-end enterprise application software and a top cloud company, have studied in Karlsruhe. And every year, KIT reaches top positions in the Founder Radar and the Startup Monitor in Germany. Innovation is one of 8 fields of action of KIT strategy, and 2018 the KIT has adopted his innovation strategy with a strong focus on strategic cooperation with industry, intellectual property, entrepreneurship and startups, as well as culture of innovation. As Vice President for Innovation and International Affairs, it is also a matter of my heart that we promote culture of innovation and entrepreneurial spirit among our students and researchers. And prior to this background, we have founded the KIT Gründerschmiede or Founders Forge in 2013 to support persons willing to found a company, as well as to accompany young entrepreneurs on their first steps, students and researchers as well. As of today, KIT is one of the largest activities at German universities, and every year more than 30 companies are funded at KIT with a peak value of 50 startups in 2019. And for the future, we will strongly focus on internationalization of startups with a Global Horizon program at KIT, founded by the EXIST program of the BMW. The accelerator program upCAT is a part of the offers of the KIT Founders Forge, which in recent years have proved to be a very good instrument for developing the spirit of entrepreneurship and promoting the culture of entrepreneurship at KIT. In addition to formats, like the Student Innovation Lab or the integrated product development, our students have the opportunity to engage themselves in university groups such as the Pioneer Garage. With a growth startup competition, which is unique in Germany and took place virtually this year in January, the Pioneer Garage has created a format that strengthens the startup culture at KIT. And in winter 2020, we opened our new open space triangle in the center of Karlsruhe and very close to the university campus of the KIT to bring together people with innovative ideas, students and scientists, startups and mentors, venture capitalists and industry. Dear students, today you present to us your product and business ideas and show us the results of your hard work over the past months, of which I'm very pleased. Therefore, I would like to thank personally Professor Orestes Tersidis, the mentors and coaches who are engaged in the upCAT format, and I thank you all for attending this virtual event today. And I wish you all an exciting evening, and I thank you very much for your attention, and please stay healthy.
Thank you so much, Professor Hirt, for your words. We are glad to have your support. Well, you have heard a very brief intro about ARRTI, but actually that's not all. Now it's my pleasure to invite Professor Hillerbrand, the director of ARRTI, to tell us more about their activities. Professor Hillerbrand, the digital stage is yours.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Alan, and thanks for the opportunity for some opening words here today. And first, my excuses, you may have heard it already. I was down with the flu last week and I'm not fully recovered yet, so I hope to be able to preserve my voice till the end of this event. Now, also from my side, a very warm welcome to all of you. First and foremost, I want to thank the organizing teams from ARRTI and from NTechnon. Particular thanks to Sarah Mantei and Christine Eckerle for all your work and your creativity. Another warm thank you to the KIT Presidium, a particular, of course, to Vice President Professor Hirt for supporting ARRTI as a project of the Exzellenzinitiative of the Deutsche Bundesregierung. And last but not least, thanks to all our participants here today for your time and energy and your great submissions. I really, really look forward to all the pitches later on. Now, why actually this KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge and why is sustainability? It may seem a trite question at first with the term sustainable being so well topical these days, but I think it's not a trite question. So let me delate a bit and begin with a quote from a long time ago from Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. Now, recent events have once more elucidated the need to be agile and more adaptable to address the grand challenges of our times. We all witnessed in the media or via friends and family the recent flooding and its damage, particularly in Germany and Belgium. While at the same time, the more northern parts of Europe, just like large parts of Russia and Northern America, are literally burning due to unprecedented heat waves. For all of us, with the start of the global pandemic 1.5 years ago, we were not only forced to meet online like we do here today, but we face a new reality in which, well, systemic consequences of our societal actions, including foremost our societal inactions, are very noticeable in everyone's lives every day. So the need for transformative and collaborative innovation to drive the world towards a more sustainable future seems more pressing than ever. And here it is not only net zero greenhouse gas emissions, which are only one goal under the complex umbrella term of sustainability. The United Nations has devised no less than 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are known best under the abbreviation, you may know the term, the SDGs. They recognized, amongst others, that ending poverty and improving health or education must go hand in hand with spurring economic growth, and all that while tackling climate change and other environmental challenges. Now at ARRTI, our newly founded KIT Academy for Responsible Research, Teaching and Innovation, you see it here in my back, we put our focus on sustainability as a means for more responsible impact on our living and non-living environment, now and in the future. ARRTI addresses the increasing need for ethical considerations on engineering and scientific practices by fostering a critical reflection among KIT students and staff, teaching and research staff alike, while at the same time aiming to transform our scientific culture from a still predominantly can-do culture into a make-do culture. Now, innovation, of course, is one of the key elements for achieving ARRTI's overall goal, to help to create a world we all want to live in and are able to live in. The KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge has strived to motivate students to tackle problems to help create such a more sustainable world. Now, for now, I'm very much looking forward to today's pitches and to learn from the teams that participated in this challenge. I think we will see quite different ideas in different stages of their development, all with a joint but different focus on sustainability. I look forward to innovative but reasonable ideas that, amongst others, take possible side effects of innovation into account early onwards. So for now, no more spoilers. I wish all the teams, those from upCAT and the teams from the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge, best of luck for your pitches. And I wish you in the audience and all of us a stimulating event with new impulses on how to think about innovation in a responsible manner. With that being said, I want to hand over to Professor Tertsidis. So thank you all for listening. And Orestes, I think the virtual floor is now yours.
Yes, good afternoon from my side. It's my pleasure to be with you here in this digital event this afternoon, and to also extend a warm welcome from my side for this twofold event, upCAT Demo Day and the presentation of the finalists of the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge, sponsored by ARRTI. The main role is to you, so I want to be brief. There is a couple of things still I want to share with you. Number one is a big thank you to many of the people that are in the foreground and background and have made this possible. First and foremost, maybe the teams. I know that you will be on stage in a minute. But of course, all this can also only happen because there is a couple of people who have been committed over the past weeks and months deeply into making this a successful thing. For upCAT, I want to mention Ellen, but there's an entire team behind that, so we should have that in mind. A big thank you to all of you. For the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge, it's Sarah and Christine. And I do not want to forget Marcos Gonzalez, who is in the background and really doing all the technical things. A big thank you to you, Marcos. Let me say some words to upCAT before we go into that. upCAT, or in full, the Startup Catalyst, is the KIT Accelerator Program for young nascent entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial teams, with a focus on deep tech, but not exclusively doing that. Just a couple of hours ago, I talked to one of the participants and I asked him spontaneously, what do you think was interesting, was worthwhile when you joined upCAT? And he said three things. One is that he said, well, one is about the flight hate, flying hate. So what he meant by that is, of course, metaphorically, that very quickly as an entrepreneur, you're down into the nuts and bolts of your daily life, but you miss the point where you're going to. So sometimes you have to lift yourself above that level, and the program was a possibility and helped you to do that. I hope that that holds true. Second, it was a good networking opportunity. So through upCAT, I hope you did get some access to people that can help you. In scientific lingo of the entrepreneurship scientists, this is called social capital. I don't know if I like the term too much, but I think the idea is clear that you cannot do these things alone, so you need to have access to other people. And the better you can network with them, the better the better is your starting position. And then finally, it was about building competencies. And I think this has to do with domain competencies. So learning methods was mentioned. It has to do with social competencies. I want to mention one of the elements, which was about negotiations. How can you, what should you know about negotiations? How can you prepare for negotiations? How can you really build up competencies to do this? And then finally, it is also about personal competencies or self-competencies. So that have to do with yourself in a way on this entrepreneurial journey. And this has to do with flexibility, we're listening to that, agility, and all these kind of things. But I think it's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that you also must have clarity about who you are, basically, and what you want to do. Because yes, of course, agility and flexibility is important and good, but on the other side, you also need a clear spine, if you wish, around which you are flexible, because only then you will be coherent in what you're doing, and you will also be resilient and follow through. So with these few words as an introduction, I would like to hand back to Alan, and I'm very glad and very curious to hear what you have to say, to see the presentations, and to see the progress that you did and the ideas that you bring with you in order to make a contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Hillerbrand and Professor Tertsidis, for your words and, of course, for your amazing work. As you know, making innovative ideas and promoting entrepreneurial mindset is not happening overnight. It needs powerful drive, well-thought plans, strategies, and of course, knowledge and experience. And at KIT, actually, we are proud to benefit from one of the greatest minds in the field of entrepreneurship and innovation, which is Professor Tertsidis. Now it's time for pitching. For our guests who are joining us at YouTube, please feel free to ask your questions either as comments at YouTube or the Slido link, which you can find it at the flyer of the demo day. Now, I'm happy to invite my dear friend, Christine, for the introduction of the teams for the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge, and of course, looking forward to their pitches. Christine?
Thanks, Alan, and hello also from my side to the audience. Yes, as we have heard from Professor Hillerbrand, we are now diving into the pitches for the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge. They are accompanied by a top-class jury, which will later on decide on the winner today. Let me shortly introduce them to you. So in our jury, we first of all have Antonia Lorenz with us, who is very well known from her engagement at Pionier Garage. Antonia is an entrepreneur at heart. She's passionate about innovation, Africa, and feminism. She's currently building her own company, Via Collective, which is focused on creating fair and sustainable supply chains in Africa. Hello, and thank you for being with us today, Antonia. Another member of the jury is the head of Antiknon Institute, Professor Orestes Tertsidis. You have met him today already. His background is quite fascinating, actually. After receiving his PhD in physics, he worked at SAP until 2011, first as an application developer, later on as assistant to CEO Henning Kagermann and director of the SAP Research Center in Karlsruhe. In October 2011, he joined the KIT as full professor. You have met him today. Thank you for being here, Orestes. Additionally, we have Professor Hillebrand in our jury. She is the founding director of ARRTI, but not only as such is she part of the jury, rather she looks back to more than a decade of applied ethics of engineering and technology in which she worked together with various companies from chemical and bioindustry to energy companies. Rafaela's general interdisciplinary background, she holds a PhD with distinction both in theoretical physics as well as in philosophy, helps her to bridge the gap between ethics on the one side and engineering design on the other side. Thanks for being with us today, Rafaela. And as the fourth member, we have Yusuf Beshna in our jury. Yusuf is a partner and managing director of VC investments for the family office of Reimann Entrepreneurial Family, with extensive experience in screening, investing, building and scaling new ventures. He has extensive exposure in collaborating with diverse teams in the US, Europe, and Asia. Also thanks to you, Yusuf, for being here today with us. Now, enough said for time for the actual pitches. We will first listen to Motor, then obtain CO2, and last but not least, Chemet Ensure. After each pitch, the jury has 4 minutes to ask questions directly to the respective team. And so without further ado, let us watch the pitch by Motor.
And our goal is to unlock e-mobility's full potential when it comes to being eco and user-friendly. Our focus lies with the battery, especially in e-bikes. The battery is the most critical component in the bike as it has a short lifespan and it's not unusual for it to become defective right after the warranty expires. This annoys users as they usually have to dispose of it and buy a new one. In 2020 alone, more than 7 million e-bike batteries were brought into use in Germany, which means 21,000 tons of potential e-waste. This wouldn't be such a problem if the batteries could be properly repaired, but they're designed not to be. Unfortunately, you can't simply swap a defective battery cell like in a TV remote. It's very hard to get to the cells on the inside, and they're inseparably connected to each other, which makes repairs difficult and expensive. And what happens to the defective batteries? Bike manufacturers and dealers are responsible for taking them back and for their disposal, by law. It's a heavy burden for them and for nature, as they look for the easiest and cheapest way to get rid of them, which usually means shipping them to Asia. It's no wonder that barely 5% of Europe's lithium-ion batteries are recycled on-site. We believe that product responsibility and sustainability look different and should be taken more seriously, and users believe that too. In our survey of 250 plus participants, 65% wanted an easier access to the battery cells for simpler repairs, and 85% wanted batteries to be more sustainable. That's where we come in. We've come up with a modular battery design, which is perfectly suited for a truly circular economy. The system is based on easy repairability, recyclability, and offers clear advantages for users, manufacturers, and nature. The inside of the battery is easily accessible for the repairman, and the components are detachably connected to each other, so that defective components can be swapped for known spare parts. As for the cells, the best performing and safest cells from known manufacturers can be implemented. With all this, the bike manufacturer can offer a reliable system with cheaper and more efficient service to his customers. This allows him to save a lot of money, as he has fewer batteries to dispose of, and it also enables him to act more sustainably by effortlessly separating the components for efficient recycling. With this, he can offer his customers a true eco-line and sustainably convince them about his offer, especially if he chooses to implement low-impact battery cells.
Our battery system can also be used for other light electric vehicles, but first we are focused on the German e-bike battery market. There's a great demand for more sustainable and versatile products, and we can integrate our system into about 70% of the existing e-bikes. We aim to establish our battery system into the market in 2 ways. Firstly, we are evaluating the licensing of our system to system providers such as BMZ. Secondly, we want to produce our system in initial small series and offer it directly to e-bike manufacturers. For starters, we are targeting e-bike manufacturers with lower volumes and a great interest in innovative solutions to stand out against their competitors. With the filing of the patent this quarter, we will really pick up speed. By the end of Q4, we plan to approach system manufacturers and e-bike manufacturers with our prototypes and initial test results, with the aim of being able to launch our first pilot project next year in Q2. As of now, there are no truly sustainable battery concepts for e-bikes, and we want to capitalize on that. We combine the advantage of practical concepts already used in micromobility with the aspects of easier repairability and recyclability of sustainable stationary battery concepts. We differentiate ourselves from those by designing our batteries specifically for e-bikes and e-mobility. Our team members complement each other in their competences. Currently, 4 people in our engineering team are responsible for the prototype, and 2 in-house lawyers and a supply chain manager set the entrepreneurial framework. Mother was launched in October 2020 by Sebastian and Theo, out of the Grow Student Startup competition. Throughout, our development team has been constantly refining the patent, which reached its final state in June. In addition, over the course of the year, development work has increasingly intensified. The concept portfolio for the product has been expanded, and the first 3D models have been printed. Our preparations are in full swing, and we would be more than happy to receive further support from ARRTI for the next steps in order to finally implement our idea in the market. We are also looking forward to the exchange with potential partners from industry and research. It is the perfect timing to participate in a sustainable, innovative e-mobility startup. Calls for a true circular economy and e-mobility are becoming louder and louder on the part of customers and politicians. We are Mothor. Support us on our way to a battery future.
Thank you so much to Motor for this very interesting pitch and this idea. I open the floor to questions from the jury. Do you have any?
So if I may jump in, first of all, I think it was a stunning presentation. Congratulations. Really very well done. Particularly the market is super relevant for an upheaval in terms of being more sustainable. I think it's something we all care about because in the end, we need a circular approach to having the batteries going back and forth and being more reusable. So overall, it's really a great presentation. Thank you so much. So what I wasn't able to capture properly was the fact that the go-to-market wasn't really clearly laid out. How you are going to go about it and how you are actually addressing your proposition to the various vendors. So what is it that you're actually offering? Are you offering a new battery, or are you offering a new way to make it circular and make it then more sustainable?
Yes, thank you very much for your input and for your question. We want to offer a battery pack. That means we're not developing new battery cells or anything, but the battery pack, so the way the batteries are put together. And we want to sell what we presented this. We want to, in the first place, see if we can license the system, because the whole production is something that's really taking a lot of energy and needs a lot of time. And in the second time, we want to produce the battery packs ourselves and sell them to e-bike manufacturers, so that the battery is directly implemented into an e-bike when a customer buys one.
Okay, so that means that you have a different approach to laying out the battery packs, as I understand, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I can explain it briefly if you want to.
No, I think that's okay,
All right.
because that goes too much into the gritty details. So, and that's, so just as a feedback, great presentation, and just to highlight that more specifically, that there are the manufacturers, but you are providing the intelligence how to actually lay out the packs, right?
All right. Thank you very much.
Further question?
May I jump in? Great. Also congratulations from my side. I've got a totally different question, because sustainability is a very multidimensional beast. And I found it very interesting and very promising what you jump in, circular economy, reducing material costs, and ideally also energy costs. And I have got two questions. One, I think, might be straightforward, is did you look at the energy costs of recycling, or have you an idea of how to do that, and how far you want to go in your evaluation there? And the other thing is, I've been working a bit on batteries for the energy transition, and there is a debate here that we have a problem with battery metals. I mean, that's pretty clear. We all know the pictures from Congo. And there seem to be viable options, particularly from China, which can do with much less of these problematic battery metals, and like lithium iron batteries. But it seems that the value of these to recycle is so low that the EU law on recycling will hamper these, in some sense, batteries. So do you have this on the agenda, and do you think you could approach this already proactively? Both questions, the energy and the competing values.
Yeah, so to answer the first question about the energy, there are a lot of different options when it comes to recycling the batteries. There's hydrometallical recycling, there's thermal recycling, and depending on which method you're using, the energy inputs are very different. So if you use a method where you need to melt the battery, that requires a tremendous amount of energy. But there are new recycling startups, new recycling companies that are surging in Germany. For example, the company Duesenfeld in Braunschweig, and they're using a mechanical way of recycling the batteries. They're just shredding them and separating the metals. So that requires very low amounts of energy. And the cool thing is they managed to take out the energy that's still in the battery when it comes to recycling, and use that electricity to power the shredder. So that's about the energy consumptions for recycling. The second question, when it comes to the future of recycling, I think it's very clear that yes, we're going to eliminate all the most of the problematic components in batteries, such as cobalt, which is the most valuable component in the battery to recycle. But I think it's pretty clear that there's also a political interest and an economical interest to recycle those batteries, no matter if whether it's economical or not, because we need to be independent from other countries when it comes to this supply chain, and there will be a lot of money that will flow into recycling.
Okay, thank you. I have to cut you off here. Very interesting insights, and thanks for the questions. We have to go on with the next pitch. Thanks, Motor. Really cool pitch. Next up is Obtain CO2, and I say video go.
Hi, my name is Daniel. And Lars and me are the team behind Obtain CO2. We want to enable environmentally conscious digital natives to make more sustainable cooking decisions. Imagine you want to cook a lasagna and consider both a minced meat and a vegetable variant. How do you determine whether or not the vegetable variant is really more environmentally friendly? And can you even quantify it? If you wish to do so with current solutions, you have to either look it up in a table and calculate it yourself, or use one of the available calculators where you have to draw in all the ingredients manually and also provide the data. We are convinced that this can be done in a more user-friendly way by automating the calculation and having it integrated into a browser extension, as Lars is going to show you in our prototype later. Well, first of all, let's think about why this is an important question and topic. Our first calculations show that for up to 500 kilograms of CO2 per users can be saved on average with a more sustainable eating habit. Of the 8 tons of CO2 emissions per person, 15%, mainly 1.2 tons, are due to the food consumption, and calculating it with the 40% that can be saved, it makes 500 kilograms that can be saved. Saving the CO2, we tackle important UN Sustainable Development Goals, mainly, of course, responsible consumption and fighting global warming. As you can see on the statistics on the left side, global warming is, in the eyes of many people in Germany, one of the most pressing problem, if not the most pressing problem we have. And also there are many initiatives, for example, Fridays for Future, that increase the pressure on politics and the economy to act against it. We have the right solution because we are the first ones to market a browser extension-based approach with a high degree of automation, which makes it easy to use. And also we have a very user-centric approach, which is free and open source, as Lars is going to show you in the presentation of our prototype.
Thank you, Daniel, for your introduction. I will present you now our MVP. We have programmed a Chrome extension for calculating CO2 emission. So in the right corner, you see our logo. And when you search for a recipe in the internet, in this case, we selected Chef Koch, a lasagna recipe, we will calculate the CO2 emission. The value is once viewed down here, and also here with the score of the recipe and how much CO2 it has produced. Now, when we click on it, an additional window opens, and here you see detailed information about which ingredient produces how much CO2. When you want to view alternative recipe, just click on it, and we will select the top recipes from Chef Koch and calculate the CO2 emission. Now you can view an alternative, let's say the zucchini lasagna, click on it and we get redirected to the Chef Koch page, see the ingredients and also the instructions down here.
Hello everyone, this is Lars, I'm Daniel, and we're the team behind Obtain CO2. Having both a technical and a business background, we are the perfect team for developing this product. Me, myself, I have previous experiences in, for example, a strategic consultancy where I was working on an environmental project.
Yeah, me, I'm more of the technical guy, so I'm responsible for the programming. Currently, I work as a freelancer in the web development world, and the funding will help us to further test our prototype and also program and add more features to our program. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks so much to Obtain CO2. It was a very interesting pitch. Back to the jury. Do you have any questions?
I have two questions. So first of all, thank you so much for your pitch. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching it, and I think it's a really cool idea. Yeah, so two questions, one main one, which is how do you monetize it? So I feel like it may be really hard. Yeah, because who's going to pay for it? How are you going to monetize it? That would be my first and biggest question. And then another more specific and technical question would be, how do you manage this issue of not every ingredient will have the same amount of CO2 depending on, for example, who buys it, where you buy it. So an apple can, for example, be flown in from Chile or whatever, or it can also be grown in Germany. So then that will be a huge difference. Like, how do you solve this problem?
Yeah, maybe I can just combine these two questions. So our idea was to start open source to get a good database. So as you already explained, we need different data from tomatoes which are flying in from Spain or from the Netherlands. So we want that we create a community which will add data to our database, and then later on we will provide a freemium service so that you can get more detailed information or calculation about your product. So we start quite basic. The normal tool is just making a rough calculation. When you want to get more and precise calculation, then you have to pay a small amount.
Mm-hmm.
Another question.
Answering your question.
Yeah, thanks a lot from my side for the nice presentation and the interesting idea. It's a direct follow-up. I was also asking myself about the business model and the monetization, basically. Now, with what you said, you give it a twist towards, in a way, data sourcing from the community. So I would be interested in that. How exactly do you want to do
that? We want to provide more of a kind of a platform where everyone can add their products. So mostly when I go grocery shopping, I buy the same stuff, and we have through interviews so our main focus group is economically aware people, and they are willing to calculate or enter our tomatoes coming from Spain, and then we calculate the flight distance, and we have multiplicators for how much CO2 does the tomato produce, and so we will just collect some information from the buyers and so the grocery shoppers, and add it to our database via platform.
Short question.
Who goes first?
Ladies, of course.
I take that. I've got two questions, one follow-up actually, and thanks a lot. I would love to use this one because I'm now having a pretty critical question. One thing would be, if you want to go detailed, you have to go very detailed, like seasonal variations do matter if I put my stuff in the greenhouse or not. So my question would be, will you account for that in your paid version? And the other one is...
Let's skip to that question. Otherwise we don't have the time, sorry.
Okay.
We will try to focus on it in a premium version, but we will start our first idea was to start with a basic product, and then when we move on, just adding more features and show what our customer wants. So look after them.
Okay. Sorry, Rafaela. Thank you. We have to stop here and go into the next pitch. Thank you, upCAT CO2, for this interesting pitch idea. And last but not least, we have Kim and Insura. Video up.
Hey David, I thought we should ask a customer to help us for this ARRTI pitch. What do you think about it?
Yeah, great idea, Donald. I know the perfect customer to ask. Fabrice, the stage is yours.
Hello, my name is Fabrice. I'm an electronic engineer looking for an insurance broker that understands my unique kind of insurance gaps and helps me close them. As a foreigner in Germany, I still can't find any suitable solution on the market. It feels like my specific needs are totally neglected by the traditional insurance companies, or there is no one capable to provide me the right insurance products. Commit Insure offers me individual advice and accompanies my everyday life with suitable products. Among other things, I can subscribe to health insurance for my family back home or make provisions for myself during my stay abroad. With the Commit Insure membership card, my insurance gaps in Germany are covered while I take out suitable insurance plan for my family in Cameroon via the application.
Thank you, Fabrice. Donald, would you like to continue with the presentation?
Yes, definitely. So the impacts of our venture can be first classified into two categories. The most obvious one is the improvement of the health of the populations in Cameroon, which we expect to be able to scale in other countries in Africa afterwards. Also, indirectly speaking, Commit Insure will contribute to the economical growth of these countries, since we are here shaping the future of both remittance and health insurances. In the long term, it all will contribute to make the city more sustainable by improving the infrastructure of the healthcare sector. Nowadays in Cameroon, less than 2% of the population has an health insurance, whereas 10,000 of them leave the country each year to come to Europe in legal manners and enjoy benefits of such an insurance. As much of them are hardworking like Fabrice, they will spend more than 12 million euros per year for the sake of protecting the health of their relative at home. With the certification of the IHK, we have the possibility to target the whole Cameroonian diaspora in Europe, meaning more than 250,000 people. Our business model is the B2B2C, where we act between the insurance companies in Cameroon and abroad and the Cameroonian diaspora. Here, we perceive 15% per contract closed through our app. On this following slide, we can see the key numbers to present the business model in the first year. 0.25% of the available market will join us as early buyer. They will spend around 500 euro per year for products such as the health insurances for their family in Cameroon or the repatriation insurance for themselves. All this will generate more than 46,000 euro gross margin by the end of the year 2022. Now let's talk about the competition.
All right, thank you, Donald. So first of all, we have the money transfer platforms like Western Union and TransferWise, which allow direct money transfer to Cameroon from Europe. Then there are other insurance agents in France and Switzerland. And, for example, other startups which develop products like direct money transfer to hospitals or doctors. Our journey started last year in June. Since then, we developed our business model and our application. This June, we validated our business model by participating and winning the GFE Business Model Competition of der GIZ, der Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit. Soon later, we received our IHK Insurance Broker Certification. The next steps here in Germany are get legal advice for our founder's contract, validate and improve our marketing concept, and found a limited company to finally be able to generate revenue and sell insurances. When we completed all the important tasks in Germany, we will travel to Cameroon to improve our relationship with the local insurance companies. The focus will be on finding partners, opening an office in Yaoundé, and launching our marketing campaign. The market entry will be around January 22. Before I start to go into the unfulfilled needs, I will start with what is already covered. Because of the GIZ grant, we can cover our travel expenses to Cameroon and most of the marketing expenses. So why do we need ARRTI's additionally funding? Well, although we are full-time students while founding a startup, we still must work in order to cover our living expenses. This reduces the time we can invest in our startup. Additionally, the setup of the company will cost us around 700 euros. We need coaching to improve our skills in the fields yet untrained but necessary for leading a company. And finally, There are operational costs like hosting our landing page and renting the service to run our application. I hope we could give you a good overview over our company, and we thank you for your attention.
Thanks again for this great and insightful pitch. I hand back to the jury right away.
Okay, if I may jump in, my video isn't able to start yet, I suppose. So, okay, here you go. Thanks so much. Great presentation again. I think it's a absolutely relevant idea that has its impact for all the diaspora working in Europe, throughout the world. I was wondering how come it's only suited for the market in Cameroon, and why not aim for a larger market?
David, I guess you can agree that I start with this question. So we first want to thank you for the attention and thank you for this question as well. We are definitely agreeing that we can scale this business. So we also talked about it, but to be for a beginning, for a startup, we need to focus ourselves on a specific group that we can approach easily. The Cameroonian diaspora is the one that I know. Me, myself, I'm Cameroonian. I'm coming from Cameroon. I'm studying Germany at KIT. So I know them, I know their mothers, and they know me as well. So therefore we can discuss. And if I've succeeded with them, if Kemit and Shaw has this community as base, we can then scale up. And that's what we were gonna do.
Just as a general feedback, try to, obviously, these are your focus groups and you know the market inside out, no doubt. Still, if you want to gain venture capital or any other investor's money, you need to look at the market size in total. And for that matter, it needs to be relevant that the addressable market is as big as possible. So obviously this is your proof of concept for Cameroon, but try to go as quickly as possible and go for the entire addressable market.
Thank you for the feedback. We'll definitely do that.
Further questions?
Thank you so much. I think it was a great pitch, and I really love your business model because it's very tangible. There's a lot of money that actually goes here, and it's not easy. That actually goes to Africa, and it's not that easy to actually send it. And also, health insurance is extremely important. Like I personally also live in Uganda right now, and we had a COVID wave, and I heard from a lot of people who had to pay multiple thousands of euros in oxygen, which of course many people just can't pay, and it would literally ruin them. So I think it's really important. What I would be interested in is also kind of the market and kind of your margins. So you said about the gross margin, but I would be interested in, of course you don't have to tell us your exact margin, but I would just be a little bit interested in maybe a range, or like how much can you actually make off every client? Or what is the market size of your margin?
Okay, so then let's, I will try to answer your question. Thanks first of all for your question. So as Donald also said, the start will be Cameroon, but the market size of the other countries like Nigeria is really, in compared to the market size of Cameroon, Cameroon is like only very, very small. I think it's around 5% of all the remittance is going to Cameroon from Europe. So it's really small, but that's also the reason why there's less competition. And so we can first establish a business model and can generate some revenue before we can scale and try to compete with all the other companies that already exist potentially in other markets. And the margin is, yeah, it depends. I mean, we have some fixed costs, and the good thing about insurance brokerage is that you have your fixed costs and you have some support stuff that you have to pay, but everything above that is basically your margin. It scales pretty well. So I can't give you an exact number, but yeah, we have some fixed costs, and then the scale of support stuff is only growing linearly. So yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for the questions. I have to cut short again here. So thanks again to all three teams and to the jury for this very interesting questions and to your answers. These were the ARRTI pitches. The jury has now time to award the winner of the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge, which will be announced later on after the upCAT pitches. For us, dear audience, it's break time. Grab a coffee or a tea, do some stretching, and we will meet again here at 17:05. 5 p.m. 05. See you then. Have a nice break.
So, welcome back. Hope you have enjoyed the event so far. Now it's time for the pitches of 9th edition of upCAT. This year we had 4 teams coming from different backgrounds, all from fitness industry, automotive, nano, and of course online education. We start with the first team, Motor Health Promotion, or MHP. At MHP, they are specialized in scientifically based fitness testing. We are so excited to listen to your pitch. Please, I invite you to listen to MHP.
For me, it's muted.
You have no sound.
Still no sound.
So we just hear from the technical side there are some issues. Alan?
So, yes, maybe we can listen to another pitch while our technical team is preparing this pitch. We move to Chile to our international team, to NanoShem team, where they are providing kits to customers for measuring different properties in the field of nanochemistry.
Analytical technology.
Please, if we can have NanoShem on stage. Of course, the video, yes.
Analytical technology to promote the utilization of nanoparticles as excipients to generate novel pharmaceutical forms. Francisco Montero, in representation of NanoChem, providers of a solution to increase the chances of approval of your novel nanomedicine. The problem that we address is the lack of technologies useful to determine the functionality and physicochemical properties of nanoparticles, which restricts the approval by health agencies of novel medicines that use nanoparticles as excipients. To solve this problem, we created Trinity Milena, a product in the form of a laboratory kit and methods, as shown in application patents submitted to Chile, United States, China, and the European Union. Trinity determines the physicochemical properties of nanoparticles using a triad of molecular proofs. In this case, Trinity uses a molecular proof with neutral charge that has affinity by hydrophobic domains, a molecular proof with positive charge that has affinity for negative domains, and a negative molecular proof that does not have affinity by negative domains. Trinity also provides methods to determine the number of drug molecules encapsulated into nanoparticles, and the transference of drug molecules from nanoparticles to cells. With respect to market, our business model is B2B. Our main customers will be laboratories from universities and pharmaceutical industries. The proposed selling price will be close to 1,500 euros. The cost of our technology is estimated to be 282 euros per kit, so we expect a margin of 1,270 euros per kit unit. On the other hand, public information shows that in USA, during year 2019, 10,700 patents and scientific papers in the field of nanoparticles and drug delivery were accepted for publication. Then, if we assume that one publication is equivalent to one potential user, that 5% of the US potential market wishes to make characterization of its nanoparticles for novel nanodrug evaluation, that we take 85% of these customers, and that 1 of 8 trials using our technology will characterize a satisfactory novel nanodrug, we are close to the empirical value of 57 drugs containing nanomaterials that were submitted to the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research of the FDA during the same year. In this manner, we can logically justify that one scientific publication in the field of nanoparticles and drug delivery is equivalent to one potential customer of our technology. Making a worldwide linear extrapolation of this assumption, we can justify a TOM of 99.3, a SAM of 5, and a SOM of 4.2 millions, mostly located in China, Germany, and USA. Competition in nanoanalysis is given by companies like Malvern Paraanalytical, with products as the widely known Zetasizer, or Nanosite, or Microcal, all of which can measure the physical properties of nanoparticles. However, these technologies cannot determine the functional and physicochemical properties of nanoparticles, as we do. So, from this point of view, more than competence, these technologies are complementary and symbiotic with Trinity Milena from ChemNanoChem. Subsequently, after this analysis, the first step will be to execute the technical validation of the kit components according to the European standards. Later, marketing will be performed using explanatory videos available on YouTube, assistance to international congresses, exposition of scientific papers that use our technology in our website, with personal assistance and direct selling, sending our product from Valdivia to laboratories of universities and pharma industries located around the world. To support implementation of this project, our team members are Cristian Jaures, businessman and entrepreneur, Luciano Rivera, 12 years of experience as Chief of Analytical Chemistry Laboratories, and Francisco Montero, CEO and founder of ChemNanoChem. So, according to the previously exposed, in this round, we ask support for 530,000 euros to finance implementation of a small factory, human resources, intellectual property, marketing, between others. Finally, we expect to be running on full selling mode after approval of the first IND process that shows successful utilization of our technology, probably in the 3rd year after the initial investment. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you so much, ChemNanoChem team. We have Francesco here with us. Hi, Francesco.
Hello.
Hi. It's very nice to have you here with us. From your perspective, what are the key factors that let you develop such a novel technology?
Thanks for the question, Alan. Well, this work was done in Valparaiso at the chemistry department of Universidad Técnica Federico Santa Maria. Well, in that case, for example, planification and responsibility is a must. So I believe that we must promote these values as a key factor to promote the proper development of the Chilean science.
Great. And how is the funding state there in Chile? Basically, what type of investors are you looking for?
Yes, well, the funding in Chile is not so developed. And well, this project comes from academia. So it was funded with public money. It means that the money for the salaries, for example, or to buy the chemical supplies using this project comes from the work and the effort of all the Chilean people. So by reciprocity, I believe that in the near future, the public funding for academia must be focused on development of new processes and technologies for the benefit of academia and also for the public funders.
And when you look at your future, where do you see ChemNanoChem in 5 years' time?
ChemNanoChem, we expect to be our center here in Valdivia, and we hope in other countries also offering service, for example, and of course making using our product here, Milena and other derivatives, we expect to generate also. And of course, with a small factory, it's our dream here.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. And we wish you good luck. Now we're back to MHP team, and thanks a lot to our amazing technical team. It seems the problem is solved. Now we are so excited to listen to the MHP pitch.
Hi, my name is Hannah, and together with Lena, we're from Motor Health Promotion, and we're able to test, track, and compare your fitness level. Here we have Nick and Lisa. Nick is a gym member. He lost his motivation since he could not see any progress anymore. But now he is thinking of quitting the membership. And here's Lisa. She earned a few pounds while she just signed a membership at the gym. She is very motivated and willing to get back in shape to feel more self-confident. And here we have John. John runs a gym, and 10% of his gym members canceled their membership last year. He wonders what he could do to improve the loyalty of his members. And this is a common problem. A lot of members quit or drop out because of an ineffective workout plan. They don't see their own progress and don't know about the actual fitness status. Plus, up to 85% of people nowadays have an inactive lifestyle, but at the same time, they want to grow old, staying fit and healthy. And that is where TTC kicks in. We enable people like Nick and Lisa to determine their current fitness level in an individual, objective, and valid way. Therefore, we provide gym owners like John with a data platform and database they can use for their members to optimize the individual training. Our idea: diagnosis is cool for everyone and not just for scientists. Our product is an enrichment for Nick, John, and Lisa. As a gym owner, John can offer our TTC to its members either exclusively as an add-on or inclusively within the general membership fee. So we are in a B2B2C market, which is why we consider both sides, the wishes and needs of John and Nick and Lisa. The basic products are the data platform, including the database and the fitness test. We also offer other services. The USP of TTC is the combination of a scientifically founded database and a data platform to enter the results of the fitness test. John is able to test, track, and compare the fitness level of Nick or Lisa to give an individualized feedback.
So this is how it works. First, Lisa and Nick perform the fitness test. These are standardized and scientifically tested exercises from the European Fitness Badge. Today, it is available in 5 languages and almost 10,000 people already perform it in Europe. So a trainer of John's gym supervises and measures these 6 exercises of all 4 motoric dimensions. So then the trainer enters the results of the test into an online data platform. The results get compared to a group with the same age and gender to get the individual classification of Lisa's and Nick's fitness level. The trainer is now able to give them feedback using the reporting system of TTC. It contains a certificate and the individual result that shows them where their strengths and their weaknesses are regarding their fitness level. Lisa and Nick now have, for example, 6 months to improve, work out more precisely, and can then take the test again. This will allow them and the trainer to track their progress in cold print, and Lisa and Nick stay motivated, hopefully. At the same time, John can improve their member loyalty. Our competitors are other companies or fitness diagnosis tools and providers that also measure someone's general fitness level or health, not just isolated fitness dimension. In total, we have more than 2,000 gyms worldwide. To enter the market, we focus on gyms that are specialized on health and personal qualified care in Germany. This is especially the case with high-priced gyms. So the next step would be to reach out to all gyms in Germany and then in Europe and then worldwide. So within the first year, we want to reach out to 50 health-related gyms in Germany. And then we plan to double the number each year. including the cost of sales. And if everything works out the way we plan it, we would have a break even within the first 2 years. Next step is to implement TTC to one gym as a pilot project to improve our data platform so that we can roll out the train-trainer concept and bring TTC to a gym chain at the beginning of 2022. Our team exists of 5 members, including us, Hannah and I, as business operators, Professor Bös and Dr. Schlenker, both CEOs, and Michael Butzke, IT expert and digital officer. So thank you for your attention. We hope you enjoyed our presentation, and who knows, maybe we'll test track and compare your fitness level one day.
Thank you so much, Hannah and Lena, for your amazing speech and, of course, great work. So let me ask you this question, that how could an investor support you? What do you need actually?
Okay, thank you, Ellen, for that question. So the data platform now, including the fitness exercises, they already exist in 5 languages, and we would like to extend our product, TTC, in Europe first, like Lena said already in the pitch, and then worldwide. And therefore, we need an investor with the expertise and the knowledge of building up an effective and profitable sales and distribution system. And then we could grow even faster and bigger and could reach out to many more gyms, many more customers. And therefore, we will come closer to our vision that every gym member uses our product, TTC, to test track and compare their own fitness, to become healthier or to grow old healthier.
Yeah, great. I think that would be great also to hear a bit more about what you have in place, what works has been done. You mentioned about having in different languages or so. I think that would be also interesting for our audience to know, because we are aligned with the trend with healthy living. I think such products is needed. So it would be great to hear about your work, what has been done.
Yeah, so thank you, Ellen, also for that question. So we worked on our business plan, obviously, lately, and also we built up more structures for the marketing and sales system, which was not that easy, but right now we built up a network with a big trainer school in Germany. It's a trainer school for fitness, and so we have a network right now, because we wanted to get more information about the wants and needs of a gym, including the gym owner, John and Lisa and Nick, and the gym members, and also the trainers. And so we want to learn from their experiences, and so we can optimize our platform, actually, our TTC platform, and make it more user-friendly. Actually, we just finished the trainer workshop last week with them, and now the trainers of that big trainer school, they now are able to test our platform and give feedback to us, so we can optimize our platform for gyms. So far the TTC was used for Vereine. Now I'm missing the word. So now we have to adapt it to the gym.
Thank you so much. We are looking forward to try the product as soon as it is ready, of course. And thank you so much for your presentation. Now we move to our next team, Revo AI, where they enable technology companies to develop safe autonomous machines more efficiently and, of course, more effectively. Video, please.
Dear Professor Tertsidis, dear upCAT team,
Thank you for the opportunity and all the knowledge you've shared during the last months. Dear audience, I'm Gustav and part of the Rio AI team. Our mission is to support the development process of autonomous machines through test generation software. So what is our problem? There are three topic areas. First, we believe in a future with a massive amount of autonomous machines, not only mobility, but also in manufacturing or healthcare, for example. Second, to develop autonomous machines, digital twins are necessary. The testing effort to achieve safe products is exploding. Third, to handle the exploding test effort, new solutions to generate valid, diverse, and comprehensive test cases are necessary. And that is exactly what we are focusing on. Which value do we offer to our customers? We support them in developing safer autonomous products, in boosting their engineering efficiency and their go-to-market, and also in profiting from AI without additional AI hires in engineering. How does our solution look like? First of all, our users are testing engineers. The main question is, under which circumstances will the autonomous machine under test fail? How do we answer this question? First, our users set up and start their test generation process. Second, they monitor the test data generation and optimization process. Third, they explore the generated, diverse, valid, and critical test cases. How does our market work? We are in a highly specialized niche and focused on generating and optimizing test data for digital twins of autonomous machines. Our final customers are companies focusing on developing autonomous machines and their suppliers. In between, there are software companies which focus on providing software to model and simulate digital twins. How do we access our final customers? First, and in the short term, through partners in the area of simulation, for example. Second, and in the medium term, directly. Which are our advantages? We have rare technology assets, not only in terms of intellectual property, but also people. We have unique market access through our partners and our advisory board. And we have positioned in a today small niche with an exploding growth rate. How big is our market? Our service addressable market could grow up to 2.5 billion USD in 2028. Our total available market could even grow into 126 billion USD in 2028, according to emerging research. What kind of competition do we face? Our direct competitors are research-based early-stage startups from other universities. For example, from the TU Munich or Swedish or Belgian universities. Our indirect competitors are established in the area but are focusing on more traditional use cases. Who is part of our management team? Michael Hefenbruck, he's our chief data scientist and has a KIT background, and myself as business lead, also with a KIT background. How does our timeline look like? Our background is cutting-edge research at KIT. We have achieved pre-seed funding. At the moment, we are focusing on pilot projects with confidential partners. Our next steps is to convert the pilot projects into recurring revenues. And in the fourth quarter of May 2022, we may pursue a seed funding round. Thank you for listening. In case of questions, we are happy to hear from you, for example, via LinkedIn or email.
Thank you so much, Gustav, for your pitch and, of course, amazing work. Your project seems to be pretty risky and, of course, big. And you recently secured pre-seed investors for Revo AI. Was it difficult to find them?
Alan, thank you for the question. I'm not allowed to start the video.
Maybe,
thank you.
our technical team? Yes.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
Please.
Yes. Thank you for the question. It's a tough one. I think a big, bold, and risky idea not only has downsides. The upside is if it works, there is a real investment case, something worth to be pursued. But of course, you need the right technology and the right team. I think from our experience until now, everyone you spoke to, pilot partners, also potential angels, has loved our team so far. This led to the case that we have signed first agreements with 2 domain experts, and they really know what our case is about. It's difficult to understand, but this gives us also a good feeling about the potential and the future. And of course, also it's a kind of first validation of the idea.
Great. Of course, talking about digital twin and testing market, sometimes you have high entry barriers. How was your experience of finding pilot partners? And was it hard to find them actually, or how was your experience?
Generally, I would agree. Specifically, well, I think the main barrier is that actually it has a lot to do with the internal development. It's of course most time it's under NDA, and most companies actually don't talk about it. And you need some kind, or you need to be pretty confident about what you do to do it successfully. On the other hand, in our case, it is we have a broad network with direct access to partners, but also to unique people and domain experts. So for us, in our case, it was quite easy to find pilot partners.
And what's your recommendation for the other startups when they want to secure partners for the pilots or so? I think that would be also helpful for the other teams to hear.
From our experience and what I've experienced also so far in other projects, it's difficult to find partners if you need some. Usually, it's more easier if you know the people from other jobs or from friends, or just if you have some kind of connection to them, because getting to them like doing cold calling or something, it's quite difficult, and you may get some feedback which is maybe not worth it just because the people don't know you.
Great. Thank you so much, Gustav, and it was a pleasure having you today. Of course, we all know the value of network, and this is one of the parts of the upCAT program where we open our network to our teams. Now we move to our last team. Of course, last but not least, we have OnScript, where they have the mobile online learning platform for students.
Hi everyone, we are OnScript, which is a learning app for university students. With our app, you can upload a lecture script and then have students study directly from it, where they can talk to each other, ask questions, and they can save any other learning content they find, such as YouTube videos, directly in the script. We think that every year students are asking the same questions and Googling the same topics. The reason for this is that there is a disconnect between what the professor teaches in class and the pre-recorded lectures and videos that they watch online. Since there is no feedback to the professors as to whether these videos are helping students, the professor is therefore left with having to answer the same questions every time, every semester. We can fix this by having everything in one place. So if a student asked a question, or if the student found a video that was helpful, all of this is saved in the script. So other students have access to this, and the next semester students have access to this. This greatly reduces the overhead for the professors and makes it a better and seamless studying process for the students, as they have all the material and content that they need in one place. As well, because they can chat and talk to each other and help each other out. They can we really leverage knowledge sharing in that context where students can help each other. And while it's mobile first, students can study then anywhere at any time, on the bus, on the train, doesn't matter. And we give professor anonymized statistics showing which questions are students asking, how are they interacting with the script, which sections prove to be difficult, which not, and the professor can use this then to optimize how they teach. So we provide motivation with this social aspect for students, and we want to add gamification as well to make the learning in our app more enjoyable in a sense. And of course convenience, because it's an app you can just pull out your phone anytime, anywhere and study. And with the statistics that we provide the professor, we can improve teaching. We have some major competitors such as Study Drive, the Khan Academy in Germany. Our approach is that we go directly to universities and then work with their professors to onboard their scripts onto our platform. Since we intend to partner directly with universities and sell them our platform as a learning aid for their students, we'll charge them per student per month, a fixed amount of 2.5 euro. Now, having done a test with a professor whereby we were able to convince 60% of the students in his course to download and use our app, we assume that there are 56 students per full-time professor in Germany, and our target is to get at least 60% of those students to download and use our app. So here are our revenue projections, and of course more detailed financial breakdowns are available, and we're open to come to talk to you about our projections. So we want an investment of 144 euro, and with this money we'll found our company, we'll hire a game developer to add gamification to the app. Of course, by the way, you can download the app right now from the Google Play Store. It's just search for Unscript. Right, so we want to fully develop and test our product by Q4 of 2021. Then from there we'll focus on building a network partnerships with universities so we can start onboarding more courses onto the platform, and hopefully we can break even in Q4 of 2022. So e-learning apps are the future, and if you want to be part of this future, then consider joining us. Currently in the team there are 2 of us. We're looking for a third partner and of course an investor. So if you see the potential in Unscript, then do not hesitate. Go ahead and contact Richard on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Unscript team, for your pitch. We have Yuel with us today. Yuel, what was some of your key learnings from testing with the students? I think that would be very helpful. Of course, last year and this year we faced a lot with virtual learnings and of course online education. How was your experience with the testing of the students?
Hi, Alan. Thank you for this opportunity. Can you hear me well?
Yes, very well. Loud and clear.
So our experience so far was that there's definitely a need for such a platform. Students consistently complain about the lack of interaction with their peers due to the online learning switch. So this really convinced us that we were on the right path. And for us, we had spent a significant amount of time building our back end, and we then switched to our focus more to the front end and try to improve the chat function and try to make the UI more user-friendly.
And when it comes for your implementation or convincing students and professors, what are the main challenges that you're facing? What are the main issues with the app?
Right. In order to convince students of the platform, we need content, and that's why we go to professors, because if we can get their script, then that gives us the content. At the same time, a script is a very detailed and rather long document. So in order for someone to go through it and add additional learning content, such as YouTube videos, also takes a lot of time. So it's very hard to find these champions, like that one student that spends the most amount of time studying. But once you find such a student, then it makes things much easier. But like you point out, it's very difficult initially. But once you have 1 and 2 and 3, it sort of develops a life of its own and then just flourishes from there.
Yeah, great. Of course, today we have part of our audience are coming from academia, students, of course, professors as well. I think it's the best place to ask them if they are willing to try your app. And of course, you are all more than welcome to contact Yuval or reach out. Thank you so much, Yuval, and thanks a lot for all amazing pitches from upCAT teams. With all said, I think now it's time for us to know the opinion of the jury and see who won the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge. Christine?
Yeah, thank you, Ellen. And also from my side, congrats to the team from upCAT for those amazing pitches and the journey you have taken in the last months. Another highlight of the event is now coming up. The winner of the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge will be announced by the Director of ARRTI, Professor Dr. Raffaela Hillerbrand. Raffaela, have you decided, you and the jury, on a team to be today's winner?
Thank you, Christine. Yes, we could decide, but it wasn't not an easy decision. All 3 teams are unique in their way and hard to compare, and have put forward some really interesting ideas with a distinct focus on sustainability. So thanks to all of you. But in the end, the choice of the jury was made unisono, and it is my honor to announce the winner of the KIT Sustainable Innovation Challenge, which is Motor. It's the team that presented first. Congratulations to you. You've given us a very convincing and professional presentation of a very strong project idea. Your ideas, we think, have the potential to make a big impact for reaching a more sustainable mobility future. And yeah, you clearly seem to work on the right questions and most likely have a lot of work ahead of you, and we are happy to support you. And a big thanks also to the other 2 teams. We thought you have done a great work, and it was a pleasure to learn from you and your ideas. Thank you. And now, Christine.
Thanks, Raffaela, and also congratulations from my side to Motor. Really cool pitch, and yeah, I look forward to working with you on your idea in the next couple of months.
And last word, thanks to the jury members for...
Yes. Thank you to the jury members. Thank you so much for being here with us today. With that, the event is coming to an end, and I hand over to Professor Orestes Tertsidis for the closing statement.
Somehow I need to turn on my camera, which does not really... No, I don't. Good. So, great. Thanks a lot. Closing statement is not so easy after this quite rich afternoon, which has provided so much information. And I think all of us have taken something out of this. We saw 3 student teams that came up with great ideas for sustainable innovations. We saw 4 teams that have been preparing to set up their business over the past 10 weeks. And as I hope with that, that you did gain an impression of what is happening at the KIT around these things. Such a situation is very important for teams to develop. This is something that we know, that we've observed many times. There is a famous theory on creativity by Csikszentmihalyi. I don't know if you know him, as a scholar that lives, I think, still in the United States and works, but is originally from Europe and had studied, I think, even with Carl Jung still in Zurich, who's got a certain age, and he's been a management scholar for many years, I think teaching in Chicago, and is famous for his systemic model of creativity, where he says there are always three components. One is the field, obviously, in which you work. So the field is the field in which you work. I mean, these are the 7 projects that you saw. And it's different. Depends on the domain, and you have to have deep knowledge and all these kind of things. Then it's the person, obviously, which is important in creative processes. And then he introduced something that he took, I think, from Kurt Lewin, if I'm not mistaken, probably, which is the notion, the concept of the field. And that is quite interesting. So he said creativity takes place when you have the domain, you have the person, but then there is a third thing, which is the field. And such an event as the one that we saw today creates such a field. I think the programs that we do, as we hope, create such fields, which create an environment for you to make it concrete, to have an environment, a framing, which helps you make progress in your ideas and projects. And we hope that this entire event created a field, not just today, but in the preparation, and as we hope also in the aftermath. And with these words, I would like again to extend a big thank you to the teams, to the team that organized that. We mentioned the people before, to the jury, of course, and also to the audience for joining. And wish you a good evening and wish all the teams all the best for the next steps. Thank you.